Aidan Hutchinson. JB, if you don't mind, let's throw up Aidan Hutchinson's quote on first being a defensive end in the NFL. He got a chance to talk with Chris Long, talked about the details, the impact of, the lifestyle of being a defensive end in the NFL. And his rookie year, he said, quote, "My best game, technique-wise, was a one-sack game. Sacks are such a tedious and delicate thing." And why I love that he said this is he came out slow out the gate, and then it was a 3-sack game against Washington. And then it was slow, and then it was a sack against Dallas, right? And he finally stood him up. But he played really well. And I think that's something we really don't appreciate enough in this media world we live in, where everybody is quick to say something or you want to jump on something.
Right.
You may look at the box score and see 0 sacks, but what I see are 5 pressures, 2 tackles for loss. There's so much more than just the sack numbers. So I loved what he had to say. Jeff, you watched the interview. He handled himself so well, like you'd expect him to.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up too, because I think people, especially the average just box score checker, you look at sacks, especially early in the season for Aidan. Against Philly, he mentioned it. Facing that offensive line for his first game, going up against Lane Johnson, he even talked about it, kind of laid the foundation for him for the rest of his rookie year. And speaking of the sacks kind of being misconstrued, against Washington, and we talked about this literally the show after that following Monday after the game, he kind of fell into a lot of those sacks, but everyone just sees the 3 sacks in the half and goes, wow, this is Aidan's best game. And it was a great game. 3 sacks, don't get me wrong, in the half. But let's be honest here. I mean, Aidan knows his best game, and he talked about it. He can feel unblockable, but if he doesn't get a sack, people at home are saying, what happened to Aidan?
Yep.
If you don't actually pay attention and watch the game. So you're absolutely right. Pressures are what matter. And Aidan, after he got his legs under him, man, he took off and he never looked back. And the fact that they stood him up when they did, and we were asking for it on this show. I know other shows as well. Fans were asking for it. They finally stood him up, and you saw late in the season too his athleticism, which wasn't talked about enough, to be honest with you. He had 3 picks. Like what he did as an edge is
That was one of the funniest things we got to talk about on the show, was leading up to the draft and then post-draft, right? Yeah. Kayvon Thibodeau. How? He's more the kid is 6'7".
Yeah.
Probably 260.
Shredded. I mean, he's
completely shredded. He is agile, explosive, everything you want. And we're really having this conversation. So, for me, Aidan Hutchinson, a hell of a rookie year. Obviously, the 9.5 sacks is a really nice number. How do you not fall in love with the number? But overall, his performance was everything. I thought he was the best defensive player on this team last year.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't think there's anybody that played at the level he did.